Hello there, fellow wedding photographer and/or hybrid video creator. I am certainly not an AI avatar of Taylor. Look at me interacting with objects like this all-new Sony A7V. 2 USB ports. Sony knows what's up. I released a general video on Tuesday about the new Sony A7V, but I figured it was important to make one specifically for us as wedding photographers and also hybrid video creators. Because this is Sony's best camera ever for it. Hello. I'm Taylor Jackson. I am a wedding photographer from Canada. I photographed over 1,000 weddings in my career. Around half of them have also included a hybrid video element. If you're over on the members website, you probably watched my course called The Taylor Jackson Method, which just goes through how I do both photo and video at a wedding as one person or myself in a second. And I think the client side demand is only growing bigger by the day for this. So if you're interested in doing both photography and video, I think it's a good thing. And I'm also running a huge special on the member site that closes on December 5th. So if you're watching this video before December 5th, you can still get in on this crazy deal. I'll talk more about it towards the end of the video, but usually the members website is $399 per year, but until December 5th, you can get in for $99. It's under $100. There's also a 100% money back guarantee, so if you sign up and it's not for you, just send me an email. My email is here on the screen, and I'll send your money back. There's over $5,000 of content immediately available to you, and you can just get started with it right now. Link down below for more on that. Sony A75 is Sony's best general camera they've ever made. General in a good way, that is. It does everything that most people will ever need, and at a price point that it's high, but it's not completely crazy. It comes with many features that are going to make your life easier on wedding days. You're going to get great image quality as well. Plus you have access to so many lenses. Sony was very open to other manufacturers making lenses for E-mount, and because of this, you have the Sony expensive lenses, but then you also have probably 3 or 4 other options, depending on which lens you're looking for, either from a Viltrox or Sirui. Even Case Filters is making lenses now. It's really cool to have a lot of different options at different price points. And also all those lenses just come with different characteristics, so you can find the one that works the best for you. Sony themselves as first party also have some unique ones like the Sony 28-70 f2 and the 50-150 f2. Both of these lenses are absolutely next level, and I know a lot of wedding photographers that will just run the 20-70 f2 all day, and maybe they'll have a 7200 or a 135 prime in their bag if they need it for the ceremony, but other than that, 28-70 f2 all day. Lens selection is one of the real reasons that people go with Sony, but the original reason people went with Sony was for autofocus and mirrorless. The Sony A7 IV autofocus was really good when it came out. I couldn't actually imagine autofocus getting any better. It's still good, but I really couldn't imagine it getting any better. And now here we have the Sony A7V, and yes, it's even better. When it comes to wedding days, what that means is that you're just not gonna miss anything. If a subject is standing sideways in a weird position, they're half hiding behind something, the autofocus is probably gonna pick them up, and as soon as they appear, it's gonna be right on their eye. The camera also starts up crazy fast, and I'm someone that is turning the camera off and on all day, so that's a very nice thing for me to have. Another important thing for me as a hybrid wedding creator is the camera's buffer speed. Sony cameras have had a tendency to have a very slow buffer, and this means that if you're taking 20 or 50 photos of a couple coming down the aisle at you, and then you want to switch to video mode and be recording or just hit the video record button, sometimes you'd be waiting 5 or 10 seconds, or on some of the higher megapixel cameras, maybe you're waiting 30 seconds before you're able to record a video. Well, the good news is with the Sony A7V, the buffer is very fast. I would recommend that you use a CF Express Type A and a V90 SD card in here if you want full maximum buffer performance, but it is finally here. And yes, this camera does have 2 card slots, which is important for us wedding folks. The ergonomics are also very good for the entire day. The grip is nice, and overall, it's just a really comfortable experience. The button layout is also great. I changed the back wheel up here to ISO. It also locks so it doesn't get bumped whenever you put it in your bag. And the lock is really fun to play with. Canon users get the big wheel on the back as their fidget spinner. Sony users get this button here. Nikon users don't really get anything. Maybe the multi-use ring on your lens, but it's not nearly as fun. Okay, maybe that point's not so important. I do change the C2 button up here to go into crop mode. I use this during ceremonies pretty often to get a little more reach. I don't like to walk in front of people if I don't have to, and I can stay off to the sides. And if I'm on a 35-150 and I'm at 150, I go into crop mode and I'm a little bit closer. Since this is a 33 megapixel camera in full frame, you still get 14 megapixels in crop, which is really nice for some documentary images. Not gonna be using crop mode all day, but for the ceremony, I think it's really awesome. Now what's interesting when you're in video mode and you're shooting 4K 60, which is uncropped on this camera, which is lovely and wonderful, you can actually retain that 4K 60. So you go into crop mode and you're getting the exact same resolution, which is really nice. Beyond that, I set my camera to shoot RAW and JPEG, and I shoot both photos and videos to both cards. I'll also shoot pretty much the entire day on shade or cloudy white balance modes. I personally like to get things as right as I can in camera, and for video, it's even more important. That said, there have been some useful upgrades when it comes to auto white balance and auto exposure modes. They're a lot more accurate than they were, and the IBIS, the in-camera stabilization, in standard mode is also a lot better. The A7 IV, I almost found it to be unusable. Now in the A7 V, you have pretty good standard IBIS, plus in video, you also have active and dynamic active, which are both incredible. Dynamic active just basically makes you feel like you're on a Steadicam and when you're handheld. So if you do want to use that, it's really nice. It does introduce a little bit of a crop factor though. The battery life is also really impressive. I will have to do some more testing on a real wedding day, but it's noticeably better than the A7 IV, which was honestly really good. Typically for a full wedding, I would get through maybe 2 batteries on the A7 IV, which isn't really that bad, but the battery life is even better now. The screen also gets a nice upgrade. You can use it as a tilt screen or a fully articulating screen, and I'm very happy to see that on the A7 V. You can also set up one of your custom buttons for a sunny brightness screen mode, so if you are having difficulty seeing this in the bright sun, hit one button and your screen gets brighter. 4K 60, no crop, fast buffer. The autofocus is crazy good. Great lens options, buttons, incredibly responsive, fast. Ergonomics are very nice to use all day. And this camera is honestly a really solid upgrade over the A7 IV. If you're considering the Sony A75, I absolutely recommend it, and I am very happy it's not at a crazy price point, just like my Black Friday special. How's that for a segue? The member site is getting the craziest special it's ever seen. Over $5,000 in courses available instantly for $99. Usually the yearly membership is $399, but you can sign up for it for just $99 if you get in before December 5th at 10 p.m. Eastern time. You'll get so many things: downloads of my presets, my contract, pricing templates, welcome guides, plus all of my full courses and ongoing content. I put 3 different types of content on the site. The first section is all the in-camera or camera-in-hand content, courses like Introvert's Guide to Wedding Photography Posing and my off-camera flash course, as well as my hybrid photo video guide, Taylor Jackson method, which shows you exactly start to finish how I do hybrid photo video at a wedding day. Section 2 is all the business content, courses like Book More Weddings, which is my full breakdown of how to do just that. Book more weddings. I also have advanced wedding photography marketing and a lot more up there. And then the third section on the site is where things get really interesting. And this is all about how I get paid to travel, making money and seeing places that you want to see. And you also get access to more unique and interesting experiences along the way. You can get everything for $99 until December 5th, which is the craziest deal I've ever offered. And if you are in a more expensive plan, you can also switch over to this. As always, a 100% money back guarantee. So if you sign up and it's not what you were expecting, send me an email. My email is here on the screen and I'll send your money back. So there's absolutely no risk for you signing up. I'll see you over on the member site.